Hello everyone, my name is Brett, and welcome to this beginner's Kundalini yoga practice. Like many of my meditations, I've intentionally kept this practice to around 10 minutes. As with any physical exercise, do make sure that you're medically cleared before you begin participating. Kundalini comes from the Sanskrit word kundal, which means coiled up, and Kundalini yoga has a long and syncretic history. It is most detailed as a practice in the Upanishads, or the final 4 chapters in the Vedic texts. This is around 600 BC. Kundalini yoga is a practice which involves asanas, or poses, movements, also mantras, or chanting, and pranayama, the use of breathwork. The intention of Kundalini yoga is to take this kundal, or coiled up serpent-like energy, located in the sacrum, or the base of the spine, and attempt to move it up through all 7 chakras, right up through the top of the head. Commonly, Kundalini yoga is done seated on the floor in a lotus position, or sukhasana easy position, or in a kneeling position. But for today's practice, I'm going to demonstrate this because it is a beginner's introductory practice seated on a stool. You could do this at home seated in a chair. I will be using 4 asanas for this practice, as well as a vigorous pranayama, or breath work. The breath work will be in and out through the nose, and it's similar to a bellows breath. If you can think of bellows to bring oxygen to a fire, it's a forceful exhalation followed by an inhalation. So it looks like this. And notice again, it's all throughout my nose. Throughout this practice, I'm going to be in my mind using the mantra Sat Nam, spelt S-A-T as in sat, but pronounced Sat, and Nam, N-A-M, but pronounced Nam. Sat Nam, it means true identity, and it's a common mantra used in the practice of Kundalini yoga. As I said, I'll be using this in my head throughout each of the phases of the movement, but feel free if you'd like to say this out loud. If you're ready, we're going to again be doing 4 asanas, but we're going to precede this with 3 ohms. We'll do 3 ohms, and then I'll describe each of the 4 asanas as we move through them. So let's begin with 3 mantras of the sound Om. Let's begin. The first asana for our Kundalini practice that we're going to do, again, we're wanting to move the energy up from the base of our sacrum, all the way up through the top as we move through 7 chakras. So the poses are arranged in this way. Again, I have 4 poses that we're going to do, or 4 asanas. Each of them is going to last about 2 minutes long. The breath work is vigorous breathing in and out through the nose. That's the pranayama. And I'm going to be holding the mantra Sat Nam, true identity, in my head. So for the first one, seated pelvic tilts, I'm going to be taking my hands like this, just placing them on my pelvis on either side of the pelvic bones. And that will just help guide the movement to begin with, and then I'll release my hands once the movement has started. So we're going to have, as we exhale, collapsing the pelvis down or bringing it backwards, and as we inhale, coming up like this. So it looks like this. And that's how we'll do it. So if you're ready, we're going to be doing this first asana, seated pelvic tilts, for 2 minutes. Begin. Wonderful. And shake out your shoulders and shake out your hands. If you'd had your hands on your pelvis the whole time, just give your wrists a bit of a shake. And just allow your breathing to restore back to its natural state. What you probably are feeling is a little bit of sense of increased warmth, maybe just this sense of vitality or almost a little bit of tingling or energy moving through the body. And again, this is the intention of Kundalini, is to move the energy up and out through the top of the head. So our next one, we started quite low down in pelvic tilts. We're going to move into pelvic rotations. This is hands on the shoulder, much like this. And this time as we turn to the left, we're going to inhale. As we turn to the right, we'll exhale. So again, we're going to do this for 2 minutes, so it looks like this. When you're ready, let's begin. Hands to the shoulders, and inhaling to the left, exhaling to the right. Wonderful. Let your hands relax down to your side. Once again, shake your shoulders out a little bit, and shake your hands and wrists if that feels like it needs a little bit of movement in them after being held in that posture or asana. Again, we're starting to really move the energy up now. Once again, you should feel a sense of energy or flow or vitality, and that pranayama really gets the energy flowing. The next one we're going to do is simply seated shoulder shrugs. We're going to be doing this one is as we bring the shoulders up, we're going to inhale, and as we let the shoulders down, we are going to exhale. So, when you're ready, let's begin. Wonderful. And that's the third of the 4 asanas. We'll now move into our fourth and final asana, or pose, for introduction to Kundalini. And again, with each of these poses, with each of the movements, you could be saying the mantra Sat Nam, over and over. I've been doing this in my mind. You could say this out loud. The final pose we're going to do, again, working our movement up. We started in the low pelvis, and we've worked our way up to the trunk and the shoulders. Now we're going to move right into the arms, which is sort of our final piece of the movement, at least through the trunk area. For this one, you're going to hold your arms out to a 45-degree angle, thumbs pointing straight up towards the ceiling. The same breath work is going to be done, so that's in and out through the nose, and that's as we exhale, It's a forceful exhale, and then as we inhale, it's followed almost passively, much like, again, bellows. So arms up at 45 degrees, and when you're ready, now bring your thumbs together to touch, and let's complete 2 final breaths with our arms up in the air, thumbs touching. Wonderful. You can return your hands back down to your lap, and we'll conclude now with 3 mantras of the sound Om. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this Kundalini practice and really can feel a sense of energy flowing through your body. This is, again, an introductory Kundalini practice. A full Kundalini practice is a very vigorous practice, as you can well imagine, certainly having a lot of the elements of that vigorous breath work with the intention of, again, moving the energy up and out through the top of the head. I look forward to joining you again in either one of my meditations or another yoga practice. Until we see each other again, peacefully, Brett.